The Mendelssohn Scherzo. This excerpt is the most delightful way to lose an audition. It's so easy for everything to fall apart when you're playing this excerpt. I actually think that this excerpt is a bit more straightforward than other excerpts that are equally commonly asked for. When you're approaching this excerpt, the first consideration, as is the first consideration in any scherzo excerpt, is the bow stroke. For me, I find that I have the most success with a pretty simple stroke. I think the key to it is not moving the wrist too much. When you're starting it out, you want to be on the string, and then you sort of just let the bow drop. I think that different people will use different amount of finger action to add nuance. I probably need to rely on them a little bit. Simpler is better, less is more. The key is to experiment with different proportions of parts of your arm and just a different mix in the spiccato to find what works best for you. I know that everyone struggles with different aspects of excerpts. Some people struggle with all aspects of certain excerpts, but for me, what's hardest about the Mendelssohn Scherzo is starting it, and it's quiet. You have to immediately initiate the bow stroke and keep it going. I approach this as if I were a basketball player shooting a free throw. As a side note, I'm a terrible free throw shooter, so maybe I should have come up with a better analogy, but I like the notion of having a very consistent approach with the hope that training the muscle memory so well that you do it the exact same every single time is the surest way to find success under pressure. What I do is I sing in my head 4 measures. It's the first 2 measures at like the start of the piece, way back when it's just the woodwinds, and then it's the 2 measures before the violins come in. In my head, I'm going dun 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 dun, and then I enter as the section would. For me, it's an appropriate amount of time to be thinking about the music so that I don't get freaked out waiting to start, but enough time also to settle myself into the tempo I want. It's good for me to think of the flute sound to get an idea of the color and the timbre that I want out of the excerpt, and since it works, more or less. Something I really like about this excerpt is the efficiency of the expressive markings that Mendelssohn uses. You can tell just looking at the page that when he writes something, he means it, and he uses a nice broad palette of different types of markings, but be those accents or sforzandos, the dynamics themselves. Famously, there's the drop from piano to pianissimo halfway through, which I've heard described as the piece de resistance of this excerpt. You have to really think everything through for what a certain marking means to you and how you might, for example, affect the difference between a sforzando and an accent. One way that I think about that problem in particular is using more bow weight on the sforzandos and a little bit more attack on the accents. It's the sort of stuff that you think so much about it, and then sometimes in the moment it barely comes through. So you really have to put the work in the practice room to get it really clear in your head so that under pressure everything manifests the way that you want it to. Another thing that I have in the back of my head is just the notion of character. Obviously, this music is incidental music for a ballet. When that is the case about music, oftentimes character is exaggerated. The action of the dancers is often put into the music very literally. And one thing I think about in particular is, if you know the plot, there's Puck who sort of causes all the trouble and all the mischief. And I think that this entire excerpt is reminiscent of his role in the ballet, his role in the Shakespeare play, I should say, the sense of mischievous wrongdoing that sort of permeates in this overture. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that any excerpt with like a finicky bow stroke is always in a flat key. Someone could write a scherzo in D major, it'd be nice for a change. This excerpt is about a minute door to door, and my best advice is to make the most of that minute.